So I had a great opportunity this past weekend to talk with an organization called Conservatives Concerned with the Death Penalty. Very nice folks. You'll hear them introduced here in this interview I had with them. So this past weekend, Maryland abolished the death penalty. It's becoming a hot topic again. So I had a chance to talk with them about their views on the death penalty. Here's the interview I had this past weekend at CPAC with Conservatives Concerned about the death penalty. Hello, and I am John Hill with WGMU, and I have Mark Hyden and Ben Jones here with Conservatives Concerned about the death penalty. What is your organization about, and what are you fighting for?
Well, first I appreciate you giving this opportunity to speak with you. We started this group. It actually grew out of a state group, but there was so much grassroots support that demanded that it go to the national level. And we're finding that conservatives all across the spectrum are coming to the same conclusions that we're at, many for different reasons, but they believe the death penalty is a broken system. It's broken for everybody. Costs way too much money compared to the alternatives. It re-traumatizes victims with a decades-long process. And you risk executing innocent people. And that's, as conservatives, none of these are acceptable. So that's how we got started. This is actually our official debut, although we've been going for several months now. And we've gotten a lot of support from individuals. Richard Viguery's a supporter of ours, Jay Sekulow, and it keeps growing. And the number one thing that I'm hearing at CPAC is people coming up and saying, "Where have you guys been?" I thought I was the only conservative to believe this way, but I'm finding that the majority of people agree with us, and it's getting ready to be a snowball effect. But with that, I can give it to Ben to talk.
Yeah. So what does this mission mean to you, and personally, how do you agree with the mission?
Well, I didn't favor repealing the death penalty, growing up, and it took me a while to sort of come to this conclusion. And personally, I was pro-life, against abortion, and I really started, in high school learning about the problem of innocent people being sentenced to death row, sometimes even executed. And I really was bothered by, the abuse of government power sometimes with those mistakes being made and a lack of willingness to try to connect it. And, personally, just didn't seem compatible with my pro-life principles, and that's how I came to this position.
And now, innocents being sentenced to death row, does that happen often? I'm not familiar with with instances. Does that happen often? Is it possible? What are the odds? And
the statistic that's given, that's mainly very well accepted, is for every 10 people that are executed, one gets exonerated, many after being on death row for decades. Several others have been executed, and after the fact, a lot of evidence has come up to cast serious doubt on their guilty verdict. So those are statistics that should make you feel very uneasy. And as conservatives, it's given, in my opinion, I think it gives government too much power, especially when you have this kind of doubt.
Right. And yesterday, Maryland voted on abolishing the death penalty. Is there anything further they need to do to reform their criminal justice system, or is this a good start, or are there other things that need to be put in place if you're going to abolish the death penalty?
I think with Maryland, what you had is back in 2009, they actually passed a bill to try to reform the death penalty and try to fix it. And the leading sponsor for that legislation this year said, it's not working. The death penalty is broken beyond repair and it can't be fixed. And he changed his mind and said, "I'm going to support repealing it." And I think that's what you're finding. Maryland is not isolated. It's the sixth state in the past 6 years to end the death penalty, and you're finding the same thing all over the country, is that this system is broken. We've tried for decades to fix it, and it's not getting any better.
A lot of death penalty supporters think it's a good deterrent. What do you think about that?
Well, actually, a study came out from the American Bar Association that was an all-encompassing study. It took every deterrent study that had been done, and they found that there is no evidence of positive correlation between deterrence and the death penalty. So, there's no correlation.
Right. Okay. And any last comments about your organization? Are you just focused on getting rid of the death penalty, or are there other reforms too that you want to put into action? And what are those reforms?
Our focus is repealing the death penalty and doing it on a state-by-state legislative basis. That is our goal.
Okay. Thanks for talking with me. Any other comments?
No, thanks for having us.
Oh yeah, thanks for talking with me.
Thank you.